Hey guys, this is question MM062 of the Maths Methods Sharpened Study Guide. We've got an inverse of the function of f of x equals e to the power of x take 1 over 2, where the domain is all negative real numbers. So that, for the record, that does not include 0. So how do we find an inverse? So as I've mentioned before in a couple of previous videos, the way that we find an inverse is by swapping x and y in the original equation and then solving for y. So let's let y equal e to the power of x take 1 over 2. And like I've said before as well, in short answer, we need to say swap x and y, solve for y. Because if we don't say that, we're just creating a random new function. So let's swap x and y and then solve for y. Ooh, e. So this becomes log e of x equals y take 1 over 2. We times both sides by, I'm not sure why I made that small. We times both sides by 2 to get 2 log e of x equals y take 1, which means that y equals 2 log e of x plus 1. So now, let's rewrite this up here. 2 log e of x plus 1. So this is our inverse function, which is all well and good. Now, you may have fallen into the trap of choosing answer D. And the reason why, well, firstly, the reason why you would have chosen it is the equation matches. But the reason why it's a trap is because this domain is incorrect. So again, as I've mentioned before, the domain of an inverse function is equal to the range of the original function. So I'll write that down. So range of f of x equals the domain of inverse of f of x. And if you put this on your calculator, you'll see that in this domain, R negative, the range is 0 to 1 over square root of e, which means that our domain of the inverse is also 0 to 1 over the square root of e. So we can see that D and E are actually not correct. Neither of them are, regardless of what this rule is. So now we need to get it in a different form because we know that this is correct because we've done all of our working well, and we need to get it in one of these three forms to figure out which answer is correct. So let's go through a few of our log laws. So our first one, we can see that there's an x squared inside a log. We can probably see that c is going to be incorrect because we've got a log here, and we're not going to be able to change that to an exponential. So let's just cross out c. We know that it's going to be a or b. So how do we figure that out? So one of our log laws is we can bring this 2 up here and do x to the power of 2. So this would become log e of x squared plus 1. Now this looks familiar, well, similar to answer A, but this is a minus and this is a plus. So personally that would tell me that A is incorrect, but let's go through the full working anyway. What else can we do to make this well, change it into a different form? One of our log laws states that log base to the same number as the base in the bracket is equal to 1, which means that 1 is equal to log e of e. Now, one of our other rules is the multiplication addition rule. So whenever you're adding 2 logs together with the same base, you can merge them into one log with the same base and times the 2 numbers in the brackets. So you get log e of x squared times e, which equals log e of ex squared, which is actually our answer B. The domain is correct, the rule is correct, so our answer is B.